What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some of the three most common mistakes that young wide receivers will make. So we're going to be talking about why you guys do not normally catch up to over-the-shoulder throws, why it feels like a quarterback is always overthrowing you, and how we can prevent that. Then we're going to be talking about how you guys can get off of a physical DB off the line of scrimmage and one of the common mistakes receivers make with that, and then how you guys can beat off coverage. So I hope this video helps you guys out. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to come train with us this offseason, we're traveling to 6 different locations across the U.S. for 2-day-long quarterback and wide receiver training camps. So we're going to be coming out to Atlanta, Georgia, then Columbus, Ohio, Chicago, Illinois, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, and then Los Angeles, California. So if you guys are local to one of those 6 locations or would like to travel out, we always have guys traveling out to our camps, every single one that we do. We'd really appreciate it. So check out that very first link in the description below. 2 days of work, 4 hours each day in a small group fashion. Would absolutely love to have our YouTube community out to one of our camps. Check out that very first link in the description below. Let's get started. So first things first here, when you guys are throwing a ball that is over the shoulder, one of the main mistakes that wide receivers make and why Hollywood Brown doesn't catch up to this throw is because you guys look back too early. So this has a lot to do with a deep fade. This is a goal line fade, any kind of man coverage route where the quarterback is trying to put it over your shoulder. So wide receivers that were very anxious, right? Like off the line, again, you got like inside shade coverage. You want to work him off the platform. You want to jump him to the inside so this quarterback has space to throw you open to the outside, right? But when I do this and I work him off the platform, I get separation, but I have to keep separation and I have to go get to the spot. How quarterbacks are taught is they're taught that anytime that they're throwing the ball over the shoulder, for example, like a deep fade, a goal line fade, or maybe it's a touch corner, they're taught to throw it to a spot. They are not throwing to you. They are putting the ball to a spot. It is their job to put it there with enough air, and it is our job to get to the spot when they're putting it over the shoulder. So as a wide receiver, that means I got to be fast. I got to get separation off the line, but I also have to keep separation and explode off of the release. So what Hollywood Brown does right here, and it's an easy mistake that a lot of young guys make, is he looks back for the ball right away. When you guys are looking back, you're automatically slower, right? Like that's just a fact. If you cannot run as fast as you can, you don't run a 40-yard dash looking over your left shoulder. You run a 40-yard dash with your eyes straight forward and you're trying to be powerful and explosive. That's how you want to treat it initially off the line. You don't want to just look back right away because you're automatically going to be slower. Receivers will do this on deep fades as well. They'll do the same kind of coverage. Let's say we're maybe at like the opposite 45. They'll do a move like this. They'll work the DB off the platform. They'll get him to jump and they look back after about 5 yards. And then the quarterback's throwing that thing 30 yards downfield and they can't catch up to it. So make sure if you're a young wide receiver, fellas, work the move, head down, get to the spot. And if you're worried if your quarterback can't put it there, you got to tell him, hey, I am getting out of there fast, put it to a spot, get it up early, I will go get that thing. So first mistake is looking back too early. Make sure that we do not do that as a young wide receiver or any wide receiver for that matter, and we will be able to catch up to those throws. So now, second common mistake that wide receivers will make is that they will force the release based on the route. So many wide receiver coaches teach this, and it's incorrect. And that is, they don't teach guys to trust themselves at the top of the route. They teach them that, if it's an inside route, like a curl, like a dig, like a post, you have to take an inside release. If it's an outside route, like a fade, like an out route, like a corner route, a comeback might be an exception, but you could still do it, that you must take an outside release. That is not true. It is based, the release that you take is based on the leverage of this DB. So this is a great rep here from the DB, but I really think we made him look better than what he is because of what the release that I did. So let's play this thing full speed. So we got inside shade coverage and he's running a curl route, right? The top of the route gets cut off on this, but I want you to see again, he's already off this. You could already tell just based off of the release that timing is screwed up. The DB is all over him and that quarterback's not going to him because he's covered. So you got a guy who's inside shade, right? He's inside shade for a reason. He's inside shade to protect the inside. He is going to do whatever it takes to not let you cross his face. He's trying to prevent a slant. He's trying to prevent a dig. He's trying to prevent anything over the middle. Because when you get this type of coverage in a real game scenario, I know this is one-on-ones, but that type of coverage, he does not have help to the inside. Right? So like he doesn't have like a cover one robber where he's got help over the middle and he's okay with you running to the inside because he's got another guy right there. This is his help is the sideline. He wants to force you outside. So when I'm doing my release, we know that he's going to probably stay hard to the inside. So this receiver, he does not a bad step. This is a wide step release, but like, hey, like what's the point? Like we're not going to get this DB to jump way outside because he's not really concerned with the fade right now. He's concerned with protecting the inside and staying disciplined. So what I probably would have done in this case, or what I would have taught one of my guys to do, is throw this move and maybe throw like a crossover move back to the inside. So maybe you set him up with this. You go one step, you go step with the left, and then you step with the right to the inside because you're threatening his leverage. Then I would take the outside release and do whatever you need to do. Now, some of you might say, well, what if I got to run a curl and come back to the ball? I can't take an outside release on that. Yes, you can. You just have to trust yourself at the top of the route because there's two ways that you could do this. Like let's use like a post route, for example. If we got to run a post route against this type of look, I would want to attack his leverage and hold his leverage. Take the free outside release, and this DB could do one of two things. Maybe we play him really well and we're able to restack, fine. Maybe he plays me well and I go to the outside and he's running hip to hip with me. I could always throw him by and slip back underneath. You just have to have a plan for the top of the route, and you have to trust yourself at the top of the route. So many wide receivers don't do this, and that is why they end up getting jammed, end up getting this timing screwed up with the quarterback, and do not get enough separation. So fellas, second thing that young wide receivers do is that they force the release. Do not force the release. Trust yourself at the top of the route. Take what the DB gives you. Let's play this thing again, full speed. Again, not a bad wide step release, just that DB is not going to bite on that outside type of move to take an inside release when he is inside shade. Okay, so now, third thing so many guys do is because they've heard the phrase before. I'm sure all of you have heard this phrase before, is attack the DB's leverage. We just mentioned it in that clip. And against off-man covers, the term is like, oh, I want to stem him or I want to square him up. Now, there are times for it and then there are times not for it. Because again, as a wide receiver, all of your moves that you choose, releases, your stem, it is all predicated on what? It is based on the DB's leverage. Where is he playing you? How is he playing you? And why is he playing you that way? So he's inside shade off man. Why is he playing you this way? Does he have help to the inside? That's a question you got to ask yourself. No, because he's inside shade. His help is the sideline. He wants you to just take off and go run a fade so he could get right into your hip pocket and wall you all the way to the sideline and give that quarterback no space to make the throw. That's what he wants. So as a wide receiver, a lot of people think that if you have to run like a dig or if you have to run a post, you just got to, I'm going to square him up, attack his midline, get him to backpedal and break in front of him. A good DB will know how to weave. So we do not want to do that. Okay, so if you attack his leverage off the line and you try to attack the midline, as some people say, guess what he's going to do? He's going to weave to the inside and keep his leverage because his sole responsibility is do not get beat to the inside. So you're going to square him up, he's going to weave to the inside, then you're going to break right into him because that's his responsibility. So you want to think of it like you're splitting him in half. You want to attack his outside shoulder because what does he want you to do? He wants you to run to the fade. But at the end of the day, this is a lot of space out there. So if I could threaten him to that space, that's more likely to get him to jump. So this router from Des Bryant, I'll play at full speed. He attacks the outside shoulder insanely hard to flip the DB to flip the hips of the DB. And that's what we want to do. He doesn't waste time attacking his leverage because he knows and again, if you maybe want to stem him initially and then work to the outside shoulder, that's fine. But I mean, we don't necessarily have to. We don't need to. This is a much simpler way of doing so. You just go right at the outside shoulder and you sell that fade and you sell the outside breaking route. DBs are used to you attacking leverage, right? DBs are used to it. So he comes off the line, he attacks the shoulder, and look what that does to the DB. Flips his hips. Because where's he supposed to be watching? He's supposed to be watching our hips. So when I do this, my hips, my shoulders, my speed, and my stride, everything about this looks like an outside route. Everything about this looks like a fade. That will flip the DB's hips. Then, as a young wide receiver, a lot of guys maybe don't have the leg strength, the ankle stability, the knee stability to cut on a dime like this. That is why we train, fellas. That is why we do this. The IQ side of things, I believe everybody can understand. It's applying it on the field and doing game realistic drills and training and gym workouts and all those things to be able to apply it. Right? That's what we need to be able to do. So this is a perfect textbook example of what to do when you have an inside route against inside shade off man. Now, the question you might ask me is, what if that DB's smart? And what if I go at his outside shoulder and he just sits there and I run into him, right? Okay, fine. Next time you run a route, like an out route, like a corner route, whatever it is, hey, maybe we square him up a little bit. Maybe we attack him. Maybe we go at that outside shoulder and he wants to stay and guess to the inside. Guess what? I just opened up a whole bunch of space to the outside. It's all about making your routes look the same and being deceiving to this DB. Let's play this thing again full speed. So third mistake guys will make is they only attack leverage. We got to know when to attack the outside shoulder or the inside shoulder and when to square up that DB. Play at full speed. Great job by Dez attacking the outside shoulder, getting him to flip his hips and then break back underneath. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section. We read all the comments. We really appreciate the feedback and the support, so don't hesitate to leave those below. We always get back to our guys. And again, fellas, if you want to get some work in with us, we're traveling out to 6 different locations across the U.S. We're coming out to Atlanta, Columbus, Chicago, Dallas, Nashville, and Los Angeles. Check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out to one of our off-season camps. I'll see you guys next time.